Ian tells that you have a roof leak. You have to get the cleaners going. You got to get equipment ready. You got to get chuck bags. You got to get scrubbers. You got to get all that. Then after you do the initial cleanup and, when the tiles come down from the subgroup, ceiling tiles and things like that, then you get the water remediation person, and then he comes and assess the building.
Welcome to Beyond Clean with Ace. In the world of commercial cleaning, whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned professional, you know we're all more than just toilets, windows, and floors. We're just like everyone else with diverse interests in everything. Now in Season 9, tens of thousands have discovered engaging and thoughtful knowledge that's truly game-changing at Beyond Clean with Ace. Whether you're a facility manager, a frontline staff member, or a building services contractor, we're here to help you grow personally and professionally. So hit that subscribe button and share with others. We're all about enhancing lives in healthy, positive, and proactive ways. So join me, Dave Thompson, Director of the Academy of Cleaning Excellence, your host at Beyond Clean with Ace.
Hello, everyone. Dave Thompson here, and as you can tell, it is time for Beyond Clean with Ace. We talk about anything and everything. Sometimes it has to do with cleaning, and sometimes it doesn't. We talk whatever we want to. That's kind of the beauty of a podcast, folks. We can just kind of have a good conversation. Somebody asked me, how do you conduct your podcast? I go, I don't. We just have a good conversation and let it go. So, that being said, I'm going to bring back somebody that's been on a podcast before. Had a problem the last time we had her scheduled, but I think that connection's good today. So let's see if Claudia is here. Bring her to the stage. I see a face. Do I have a voice?
Hi, you do. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good. It's always great to have, a voice to go with a picture.
Yeah, there we go. And sorry about last week. I had a emergency at one of our customers. We got called in 5 minutes before I was supposed to start in the podcast, and we all had to gear up and go and help.
Well, tell us more. You got us all intrigued. What was going on?
Well, a roof leak. Yes, and it rained really, really hard in New Jersey last week. 2 weeks ago. And it was raining constantly, and then it was leaking, and it was a manufacturing. So we had to go and save the product and, clean, make sure everything was ready by when the roofers came, and water remediation and all the thing that it goes after a roof leak.
Okay, so hey, there's somebody could be listening or watching the podcast today. We thank you very much, folks, for doing so. Some people may not know what all of that means. So what does all of that entail then?
It entails that you have a roof leak. You have to get the cleaners going. You got to get equipment ready. You got to get chuck bags. You got to get scrubbers. You got to get all that. Then after you do the initial cleanup and, when the tiles come down from the subgroup, ceiling tiles and things like that, then you get the water remediation person, and then he comes and assess the building, and they have to make sure that the walls are dry. Otherwise, mold will, come in. So I had to make sure everybody was on the right time and the right speed to make sure we save as much as we could. And we did. I had about 10 people there, 24 hours total. And then we left it all nice and ready for the roofers to do their job and for the mold remediation people to do their job. So
what kind of what was the floor underneath? Was it carpet, concrete?
It was epoxy. It was epoxy floor.
That made the remediation process for the group a little easier then.
Yes, for them, yes. They only had to do walls, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, so the epoxy save a life. It would be carpet or VCT or any other type of, floor, then it would be a different story. But that made it easier for them, yes. So
how big of an area?
We're talking about probably around 5,000 square feet that it got damaged.
Oh my.
Yeah. So this time, yes. We had experience in another ones where like an entire building got damaged.
Oh
So
my goodness. Well, I
yeah.
mean, that's the reason, folks. I say, hey, you never know what comes what that phone call is going to be, do you?
No, I know. It's simple phone call, Claudia, I need your help. And it's like, sure, what can I do for you? It turns out to be like a whole 24 hours of work. But I like it. I enjoy it. And now they're happy and everything is nice and clean now. So
Now, folks, what's interesting because this is the thing about podcasting, and I say we just kind of have a conversation because I did not know that was what the issue was.
no, because I didn't have a chance to talk to you because I was like coordinating everything. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm supposed to talk with Dave today. And, so I never got a chance to talk to you and to let you know exactly what had happened.
So,
Um,
folks, here's the interesting things. We just signed up with Rachel Adams to come to Florida and do water restoration and a mold remediation classes, IICRC certified classes for next year. You have people in Florida. Might I see you in class next year?
oh, definitely. Definitely. My daughter lives like not that far from where you guys are located. So I think we're finally going to get to meet in person,
Oh, goody, goody,
sometime
goody.
soon. Maybe with a little drinks.
Well, hey, you
Maybe
know what?
again.
After class is over, we'll talk. I think it's,
Yeah.
I'd have to look on my calendar, but I think our first one, Claudia, is sometime in June.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Well, it's warming here. It's going to be warmer there, but it's okay. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
you got plenty of time to put it into your schedule so I can see you.
Yep. Definitely. Yes.
Okay, folks.
I,
So hey, if you're thinking about what Claudia had to deal with there, uh, come to a
mhm.
class. Now, interesting what you did say though. I want to go back to that. You had to call a remediation person in because they're certified for that, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're not. We partner with someone that we know, and he's been working with us for 4 years. So we just kind of like, I go and as I assess the situation, I give it to him, and I do final inspections just to make sure everything was done accordingly. But he's the one with the certification, and him and his company are the ones who take care of everything. So.
So this is what I want to tell you, folks, while we're doing this right now, the podcast, whether you're watching or listening, we appreciate that.
Mm.
What you're able to do if you come to these new classes we're going to be holding, then you would be able to be that certified person that somebody like Claudia would call, because you're not the only one that this kind of thing happens to, where you're not the certified person prepared to handle the whole emergency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we sometimes, I would like to learn more about it. It's very interesting on how they do it. He had teach me a little bit about the chemicals and the process and things like that, but nothing for me to offer the service, obviously. Um, but it's very intrigued how they do it and the steps that they take it to do it. So it's
Now,
pretty
we
cool.
jumped right into that, and there's probably people listening to this goes, "Who's Claudia? Why should I listen to her? What? Why are we talking with this person?" So maybe you ought to backtrack and let some people know that, because it's only your second time. So maybe we ought to
Yeah.
do that too.
Well, why do I have to listen to me? Because I'm an entrepreneur and I love what I do. And cleaning is not just going and cleaning dirty toilets. It's all about how you can help others. So you're helping the customer to have a clean facility, be successful, and you're helping people who really want to work and need to work to be successful and be able to provide for their families. So behind all this is us being able to help in different ways, if that makes sense. So that's why we created our company, and that's why we're building our companies based on family and be able to be all in one, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the scroll going across the bottom right now. Tells you the website for Apex Building Services. Claudia, I also noticed there's a couple of certificates at the top of your website. I believe minority and women-owned. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Okay, well, it's very important to be a minority-owned business company, okay? I don't do it because of I get benefit monetary wise, okay? We use it more is because of we can empower other women to do it, okay? We can empower other minorities to have their own business and to be entrepreneurs. That's more of my certificates are about. I can go and use it and have governments and have benefits to get more jobs out of that. Yes, I can, but I usually don't go that route. I like to do it, just to kind of help people and see that, you can be a minority, you can be a woman, you can be whatever, and you can do whatever you want to do. And
But
so it's more to empower.
But isn't this one of the interesting things about the cleaning industry? You know, I had two gentlemen here this week in classes, and they're just now getting into it. And one of the guys is from Haiti, had been here 10 years. He says, I'm tired of moving furniture. I want to be my own boss. And it's kind of interesting. He had this vision of the cleaning business. After 2 days with me, he said, wow, I didn't know it was so involved.
Yes, everybody comes to me and says, I want to open my own company. I'm going because I say, good for you. If that's what you want, go for it. I think it's great. But you need to learn a lot of different things, okay? You need to put a business plan together. You need to see how you're going to do your sales and how are you going to manage your money and how are you going to pay your people and how are you going to do your expenses. It's a lot of different part of putting a business, proposal or a business thing together. And they're like, oh, do I have to do that? I'm like, yeah, it's not as easy as I'm going to go clean, you pay me and I'm done. You can do that, but a business, you have to make sure you have everything, planned out. You have to have a business plan. So
I continue to say, now I've been out of the ownership of a cleaning business for a lot of years. I had my run at Claudia. I champion what you're doing. I had my run. I'm done. But the interesting thing is, I always say is the cleaning is easier than running the business.
Oh, probably. I might agree with you a little bit on that one. Yeah, because the cleaning, you just go clean and get out. That's it. I wish I can show you my desk right now, but I'm not.
Oh no, I can see your board. I can see your board behind you.
Yeah.
That's enough.
This is this week's, project. So we get in the meeting, this is what we have to do, and this is the places you have to go. So this is we do our weekly meeting, and this is what they're supposed to be following. My operations manager and the supervisor and all that. But I have like different projects going on in here, it's like, which that's what the business does, My
And
husband always says,
that's the important thing. And I thought, well, for these two guys this week, I said, guys, I know I'm spending several days with you on the technical things about, the intricacies of doing the job and everything. I said, but now you got to think about before you go and invest in a piece of equipment, why are you doing it? It's not just go out and find the best deal on a piece of equipment. So I got a question. I usually don't ask questions, but you're a woman-owned entrepreneur here.
yeah.
Most people, when they're buying a piece of equipment, I want it cheaper. I need the price. I contend price of the equipment isn't the important thing. It's how much money you can make with it. Your viewpoint?
Well, how much money you can make it is a good point, but you have to see how much I can get out of this piece of equipment. Okay. Funny you mentioned that because I just had a customer who says, Claudia, you think you can help me find this specific scrubber? It's going to be in a GMP area, blah, blah, blah. So I said, you need this size, and this is what I suggest. And he goes, oh no, I want this brand. I said, yeah, but you're going to get 1 year out of that brand. You're going to pay half of the price. Okay. But you're going to get 1 year out of it if you use it once or twice a day. Okay. We're talking about like maybe 5 to 7,000 square feet. So if you use a better brand, it's going to be a $5,000 piece of equipment, or like, twice as much. Then you can get more out of it, and then of course that goes with maintenance, because people don't think that you have to do maintenance to it. You do have to do, even if it's new, you have to do maintenance to it. So I said, so you have to work on a 5-year, average of 5-year use. Okay. What can I get in a 5-year use for my money? Okay. How much money I can bring on a 5-year use? Instead of just get that one, is cheaper, is better. And I said, no, cheap is not better. You can get good deals on a used ones, but
Well,
you have to know what you're looking for.
You're exactly right in what you just said. And I think you've been listening to my bidding class.
Oh my God. I did see some of parts of your bidding class, because I need to learn more about it,
But this is what I tell people, whenever, like you just said, that $5,000, we're just good for the conversation.
Yeah.
I tell them, you need to know when you buy that piece of equipment, how many useful months it is before you're going to replace it. If you're doing your books, you have to depreciate it. For one thing, your CPA is going to say, hey, you got to depreciate this thing. And the other thing is that when you're bidding the job, if that machine's sitting there, like you're just saying, then there's a cost every day that machine is sitting there that needs to be put into the bidding structure.
And if you don't use it,
It still costs.
It's going to cost you money anyway, because you don't use those batteries. Those batteries are going to get probably damaged.
Oh, gosh.
Soon.
Oh, gosh. Talk to me about batteries. Yeah.
Oh, that's the conversation we had here yesterday. So,
well, speaking of batteries, then have you advanced to the, what do I want to say, AGM, and then now they even have, the lithium batteries now?
Yes, we do prefer lithium. The reason we prefer lithium is because the workers don't know how to use a machine. So if they go with the regular batteries, they plug them and they use them and plug them and use them and plug, and they ruin the battery.
Right.
With the benefit of the lithium is that they can plug it in and then use it. They don't,
just like your cell phone.
Just like the cell phones. Yes. So so we get more use out of the lithiums than we get out of the regular batteries. So actually the right-on scrubbers, we're switching them into lithium. So we do prefer those.
So as
They're
we're
more
talking
expensive.
about equipment, then I'm going to follow your lead right there and go, have you started looking into the autonomous machines yet?
Nah. Actually, I seen it, I heard of it, but I haven't done any homework on those yet. No. I had to do homework in order to see if it will be worth it or not, What do you think? Did you see them? Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I probably know more than I want to because I'm not the one doing it anymore. But, it's just like anything else in this industry. I don't know. Over 50 years, I will tell you, this industry is freaking slow to make changes.
Really? I would have think it would be more advanced now with all the studies being done and all the things, chemical usage and all that.
Well, I mean, come on, Claudia, look at it. We're still using a mop. The mop was started and was patented in 1893. Well. Come on.
And I hate mops. You
mean,
are correct. I'll give you that.
How slow can we be? We still can't give up an old dirty, nasty sling mop.
And let me tell you, it's funny you say that because I introduce everybody to a flat mop. Flat mop, you clean 200 square feet, take a laundry, put a new one. They come back, or I'll come back to do an inspection, and here is the dirty mop and a dirty bucket. What are you doing with this? Oh, well, this is so much better. I feel like I'm cleaning. Yeah, but you're cleaning with dirty water.
No, you're not cleaning. You're not cleaning. That's the whole thing. You're just slopping mud around.
That's exactly what I said. So we got this machine, which I knew for years, but I finally got it about a year ago. And it's a flat mop, whatchamacallit? It's a Kaivac, a flat mop system. Okay?
Omnivac.
There we go, Omnivac. I couldn't even think of the name. There we go. And I think it's the best thing they ever invented. And it's the most simple equipment you can ever buy. You put your clean water, you dispose the clean water, and then you get the dirty water. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and you change that flat mop constantly. We use those machines more than anything. Of course, they are in a GMP area because it needs to be cleaner. It's better than the brush and it's better than the pad. I think those are the best things. This lady, I had a problem with her using it. Oh no, I want to use a mop. Oh, they don't let me because the floor gets too wet. I'm like, no, the floor is wetter with a mop than it is with that. It's like, so I had to force her to use it. And now that she uses it, she loves it. It's like, oh, okay. Like.
So, and this is the thing as we're talking here, Claudia, I think that a lot of people in our industry are reluctant to these changes because we've been doing something for so long. I get that. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to all of the advantages, I had a guy many years ago taught me, he says, look at everything you're doing and ask yourself two questions. Why am I doing it? And does it get the results I want? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So much of the time when you look at stuff, we just do it because of what? We don't even really know.
Oh, most of the time it's just the only way we know. We don't ask why we're doing it. It's just the way it's supposed to be done.
Who said that?
Who said that? I don't know. My mom, my grandma, my great grandma. I don't know.
There you go.
So that's why people do it, because it's just how it's been done. So when I tell them this is why you do it, because you reduce time cleaning,
right?
Because it's more efficient, because it's less, a struggle with the mop and or a wet floor. This is the reasons why you have to use this machine. Then they go like, So that's why you want to do productivity. It's kind of like, I want to get more done in a less period of time. You're going to be mopping for 2 hours. You're going to be using a machine for half an hour. So just, no, come on. You want to go there. And I always tell them, I said, I don't charge for the gym. So you want to use a mop and get muscles? By all means, go ahead.
That's a good one, Claudia. My point on all of that is, we really don't focus on something. We just kind of do. I'm going to start doing some product reviews because I keep getting asked, why am I using a certain machine or a certain item, just like you're talking here today?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start doing some product reviews here soon about the reason I bring certain pieces of equipment, tools, chemicals into my classroom. And I always have to have two focuses. And I think this is what I find helps people is when they focus on why. What is the purpose? Why are we doing what we're doing? For me, here at the Academy, I have to focus on the health and the safety of the frontline worker. So when I evaluate something, I always start there. That's my top priority. Back to, is that mop either safe or healthy?
Oh my God, no.
So then why do we do it?
Because I have stubborn people who wants to use it.
But the thing is you're running your company. They aren't.
Oh, That's another story, and that's another podcast. Who runs your company?
Okay, hey, let's go. Come on, we got time.
I'm telling you, I I get I had plenty of stories to tell you, but it's funny because I always tell them, and it's like, okay, whose company is this? You know, it seems like it's everybody else's. Oh no, I'm doing this. I'm using this mop. This is the way I clean. This is okay. No, I'm training you in a certain way. Either you like it or you go open your own business and you do what you want to do. You know?
Well,
It's like,
you can't sell to your clients a consistent, sustainable product if you don't control that, can you?
yeah. No, exactly. And that's one of the reasons I have a an operations manager and operations supervisor. Okay. So operations manager is, I want to make sure he is in charge of all the cleaners when it comes to making sure they show up to work, make sure they do the overall thing. Then I have the supervisor who goes there, and the first thing she does is go into the closets. I say, this is your job. You go in the janitorial closet. Because the janitorial closet is going to tell me if you have a color-coded rags, and they still there in order and in nice. If my chemicals are being using the way they're supposed to be used, and if the vacuums are clean and maintained, and if the mop bucket or the mop is dirty or clean or something. I said, if you go and look in the closet, then you know how they are doing things. And that tells me that they're following my steps and my training on how to do the cleaning. So a lot of times they come back and they says, Claudia, I have a particular company that they have Fabuloso in there, which I hate, I hate it with passion. I'm like, what? Oh, because they say that it smells good, so it's clean. No, it's not. You use my chemicals the way you're supposed to, the way I train you. It might not smell, but it's will be clean, so there's no need to smell dirty or clean. You know it's clean because it's in the environment. You know, it's you can tell that it's clean.
The
You
smell of
can
clean is no smell at all.
exactly. That's my theory. Right? So that's how I make sure they follow my steps, my rules, and my way of doing things. Because if I sell something to the customer and I stand behind that, I want to make sure my cleaners are too. So,
Well,
and that's why I do the trainings myself, because this is the way I want you to do things. So that's
like
how
I
we
told
keep it in
the,
control.
well, it's like I told the two guys who were here this week. I said, the thing is as the owner, the entrepreneur here, and that you're putting the chemicals into the hands of those people, you need to know the safety protocols. And I said the first thing is the pH, because that's one of the things that you need to know. Just because it says neutral cleaner on it does not mean that it's pH neutral when you
Yeah.
go to the safety data sheet or to a litmus paper. And I said, you've got to understand that there's a worker's right to know law. They have the right to know what that chemical is. And if something happens, you're on the hook for that.
Mm-hmm. And what's the precautions they need to take? Or what is the reaction if they have any contact or anything, what they should be doing. So that's what's so important to have SDS sheets on hand to make sure they know that they're aware of things. Not only to have them and put in the janitorial closet, that by the time they read it, forget it. No, it's explaining to them what this is and what sections you need to be aware of it. Read it, learn about it, and then just so you know how to react to it.
And if somebody brings in a chemical that you don't know is there, then you're still liable because they're your employee, but you don't know anything about it. This is do you write them up? What is the discipline for that?
We usually write them up, and then 3 strikes you're out, pretty much. You write them out, and we make changes if we had to, and we tell them, I said, if you do this, you're not part of my company. It's just not the way we do business. Okay. Oh, now the customer requested, because I do have a couple ones that's what they want. I say, you supply, you sign here that you're supplying, and we're not liable for it. But Some of the customers want it. That's what you get. So they supply it. So
It would be interesting as you're saying that. I'm wondering, even though you have that, would that be, if there was an emergency, would it be theirs, or would you still be on the hook for it? I don't know.
I don't know, and I hope I'm not.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But, I think this is some of the conversation as you go into this, because, down here in Florida, we have Morgan & Morgan. We have insurance companies out the wazoo that are always advertising about, worker safety and litigations and everything. The more smarter that they get, the more that they're after money, the more I am concerned about the legalities whenever, and unfortunately, these are accidents that we don't control, but when it happens, it's already too late.
But that's a very good point. I'm going to look into that. That's a very good point, because since I had a conversations with them, since I say, if you want, you supply it, you're
Right.
liable for it, blah, blah. That's a conversation, and that's a paper that it says you supply it, but it doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like if something happened.
Does that release you from the liability should something actually happen as a result of that?
Mm-hmm. Huh.
I mean, because if I remember right, you do some clean room stuff.
Yes, we do. Uh-huh.
So then, I mean, it gets even more particular when you start really getting into that, because, I mean, clean room stuff is not just cleaning a toilet down at the local YMCA.
No. That is very specific on, they provide the chemicals, they provide the gowning, they provide the SOPs. We just provide the service.
The labor.
Okay. The labor. So, but they're all trained within their SOPs and everything. So
Right.
because they provide everything, they do have very clear of if they need to have medical exams before they get in, or before we start. So they're very clear and specific on what we do and what the liability is. So that's a different.
And that's why I want to make people to understand this. If they would listen to your other podcasts, we're actually now talking about two different segments. Our
Yes.
general cleaning. Now, when you get into these clean rooms and medical facilities, there is these things that are already set, liabilities already there. But when we get into our general cleaning, maybe we need to think some of this.
Maybe, yes, that's a very good point, that we should think about it, learn about it, and because now you're making me think. One more thing to do, Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me write it down. Yes, very great point. I never thought about that. Never did.
But I think
But that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur. You learn every day.
That's
Every day
exactly
you learn something.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, as an entrepreneur, we've got to be concerned about more than just, am I using the right process? Have I got the right tool? Did the people show up on time? As an entrepreneur, you have I don't know how big your shoulders are, but they carry a lot of weight sometimes.
Yes, they do. Yes. I have a good team behind me, so that's a good thing.
So
But-
we're here basically the last of October. We've got 2 months left before the year's over. Oh my God.
I know. Well, at this point, get it over and done so spring can come soon.
Got to get through the winter, and you're a little further up north. You're going to have.
Yes, I know. I'm not looking forward. I'm going to disappear for 2 months from New Jersey. I swear to God. No, I can't.
I was talking to somebody else before we got on here, and she's from up Chicago way. And I said, the thing about it is, I know we're getting ready to get into that season of the slush and mush, but I've been a custodian, a janitor all my life. And I always said, hey, bring it on there. Dirt's my life.
Blue season.
Yeah. Oh, how do you look at the upcoming season that's coming?
Okay. First of all, we had to make sure that we follow all our protocols for cleaning. It's like that's what we have to do. Uh, we do slow down any call it country clubs. Country clubs shut down for the winter for us.
Right.
It's not like in Florida where they're 12 months a day. Um, so we shut down, and some of them beginning of December, some of them, end of November. So that's where a slow season with that comes. But we are pretty busy with the schools because we have all the kids getting sick and all these extra things. So we had to do all the extra cleaning and deep cleaning. So we try to do like a fall and winter deep cleaning in the schools. So, we switch from one thing to the next, so that's what we do.
Yeah, it was interesting because whenever I was in Missouri, of course, we had the different weather and that we're talking about right now. And one of the things, I worked up there for like 30 years. And the interesting thing I found out when you were talking about this particular thing about kids and flu is that 1/3 of a community goes through a public school system every single day.
Oh, really? Huh.
There's no other entity that sees that much of the general public every single day.
I learned something new today again. You see, I'm learning a lot from you today.
So you think about this when you're talking about the flu,
Uh-huh.
the kids,
Yeah.
because of who they are, and we don't want them to be any different. We want them to have fun. We want them to do all this stuff.
It's just the way it is. Yes.
But it comes home, then it goes to the parents who go to work, then it goes there, and just think about how it travels. But now think about how many people actually go through a public school system, because also during this time, we're all going to the events.
To the what? Oh, at the events. Yes.
I mean, it's the school play, it's the basketball game, it's the pep rallies, it's
Yes.
the science club, just think of all of the activities that start happening inside the school that the public is going to.
Yep. Exactly. And that's how the calls I get now. Claudia, I'm having a parents coming tomorrow. Can you please make sure everything is clean and disinfected? And Claudia, we're doing an event tomorrow. Can you make sure you do this and that? So yes. So
I was working with a lady one time, and I'll never forget that, Dad. You mentioned just that. She said, I just told them I don't have to do anything special. And they kind of looked at her like, what are you talking about? She says, I do it every day because you need me to protect your health every day. It shouldn't be anything special. I should never have to do anything different.
that's very good.
I like that.
I like that. If it does part of the scope of work.
Absolutely.
The scope of work should be, a standard to the schools, and this is what you do every day. I'm talking about is the bleachers. We don't clean the bleachers every day because they don't use them every day. So I need to make sure those bleachers are, clean and disinfected when they come into the van, or the podium. They don't use the podium. It's not part of the scope of work. So we have to make sure we do that. That's
okay.
the
Now wait a
things we're
minute.
talking
Go
about.
back to those bleachers. Come on. Now wait a minute. Hold it. I tell you what. I took, and I don't have video anymore, but I took a video one time of a guy mopping the bleachers.
We wipe him down.
Now, he wasn't mopping the floor where your feet go. He was mopping the seats.
The seats.
With the same mop that he mopped the floor with.
No, now we're having a problem.
And he he said, I cleaned the bleacher. They go, how? And he showed him. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's when you do the trainings. You have to make sure you do these little things, which is like cleaning the bleachers or the gym is not just clean that. This is the things that you do in there, So you wipe down with the rag all the bleachers. You
How
mop.
much of that span a seat before you change the rag? Before you, oh, well, and so then, because this is what they told him. And then I looked at the bucket that they were dipping the rag in to wipe. I'm like, it's no different than the mop water that was on the floor.
Well, but wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean you use a bucket to clean the rag? You don't. You just don't do that. You use it, you fold it in fours, and then you do, about a bleach, let's say 10-foot bleach. You do one side, then you flip it over. You do the next bleach, you flip it over. That's how you do. Not dipping it in a bucket. That was my mom when I was little.
This goes back to what we were saying earlier, though, Claudia.
Yeah.
Because mom did it and our grandparents did it. And where did that start? That's not the way we do things today.
That's not the way we do things now. That's not the way I do things. No. And it's funny because every time when I'm in my trainings, I tell them that, and I said, because you use a mop or a mop bucket or more chemical is better, or these are the no-nos, okay? This is why we have color-coded rags. This is why we have specific chemical, and that's why we do it in a certain way, That way it gets cleaned properly. Because what you're doing is you're just smearing, the dirt everywhere. So why clean? Don't bother.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. So, okay. Somebody was getting my attention, but I'm back.
That's okay. That's all right. I was just thinking, there's so many things, and here in this podcast, think of all the things that we've talked about, folks. We're talking about some real serious stuff like the legalities. We're talking about some basic, simple things, not using a dip bucket, not any more than we use a dip mop, these kind of things. These are all the things that as an entrepreneur in the cleaning industry, we have to think about. It's not just one thing.
It's just not one thing. And it's very important when I teach people, because they said, oh, can you give me a cleaning job? Have you experience? Oh, no, but I clean. I'm a good cleaner. I'm a great cleaner. I said, okay, you're a great cleaner. When I looked, I'm like, no, you're not a great cleaner because you're doing things wrong. This is the way we do it. Oh, but it takes so much time. If I get the rag and I do it like this, it's perfect. Why am I folding it? Why am I flipping it? It's like, is a reason behind all these things to be a good cleaner, So it's kind of like, okay, let's just start with the base one, okay? What products do we use? What are step 1, 2, and 3, and how to do things, If I use a mop bucket, fine. If that's what you want to do, use it. But when the water, you don't see the bottom, that's pretty much you were done 10 mops ago. So it's like the water has to still be clear and see the bottom. That's when you change the water. Oh, but it's still pretty much clean. No, it's not. The moment it gets on the first rinse, you change it. So if that's what you want to do, go back and forth and change your water every time you dip them up. By all means, use it. Otherwise, we're using a flatman system.
So Claudia, when you come down and visit me next year, I think we've got a lot.
Hopefully it'll be sooner than that.
I think we've got a few little things to come and see me because I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
There we go. Oh no, definitely. I'm hoping to be sooner than that. Hopefully in January I'm gonna go down. My daughter's coming soon. Christmas or holidays are coming, so I'm hoping to be there in January. So I'll definitely
the thing about it is we keep the pool open all year round down here.
I know, my daughter does.
So I know what you're looking at as far as cleaning for the rest of the year. You have any trips yet for the rest of the year planned?
Well, we just came back from Colombia, so
right.
I think that's pretty much done for the rest of the year. We'll see what the next year will bring. Not sure about that. We hopefully get to see my kids during the holidays, where we're going to be in Florida for Christmas, California the day on the 26th, so 2 days after Christmas, and then in Texas for New Year's.
Wow.
So I'm gonna get to see the 3 kids and within a week.
Hey, when you went to Colombia, how long did you stay?
Only 5 days. We went on a Wednesday, came back on a Monday. It was a quick trip, but it was phenomenal. Oh, we did so many things, ate such a good food. Oh, it was delicious.
do you miss it?
I miss it, but to go on vacation,
Okay.
not to. No, this for me, this is home. New Jersey is my home. There is just to visit and visit my parents and my friends. So that's why I go twice a year for 5-6 days, say hello everybody, spend time with them, and then come back, and that's enough.
Check in and say, I'm going back.
Yeah, unless you have a lot of money. No, I wouldn't be living in good.
And you know what? Neither
Anywhere.
one of us do. That's why we're standing here talking, right?
Exactly. Yes. You can have a pretty good life in there if you have money, but if you don't, it's rough.
I've taken up quite a bit of your time today. I appreciate that. Any parting words that you want to let people leave people with today?
Okay, let's see. Treat others the way they want it. You want to be treated. How about that?
Good enough. Thank you, Claudia, for being with us again. Look forward
Thank
to coming back
you.
next month. I'll leave you alone in December because you're going to be busy.
Yeah. No, but we can talk about our Christmas and our holidays and
We'll
take a
talk
break.
about that when you come down in January.
Yes, that's true too. Wow.
So, folks,
So-
hey, we really appreciate you being here with us today, listening to Claudia and me kind of go through whatever we want to talk about. We love having fun doing that. But the whole thing is this is for you. So, all of those people, I think we're up to we're getting close to the 50,000 mark of downloads. We really do appreciate that. There's not much more to say today. Please like and share what you've seen today. Give us a comment. Give us something that you want to talk about. What do you want to hear? We've got a lot of stuff, as Claudia said, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
No, we can be here all day long.
Yeah, but I think there's probably somebody in the room wants your attention, so you better get to that.
I know. I can see
Yeah, hang on, I'm coming. All right, folks. Hey, as we
Thank
leave
you.
you today, want to make sure that you remember our motto.
Okay.
Your journey. You haven't got it ended yet. We know where Claudia started. We know where she's going in December. Hey, make sure that you keep that journey that you're on healthy, positive, and proactive. Stay safe out there, folks. Till next time.
Till next time, Dave. Thank you.